Hey everyone, welcome to the Sense of Things for another week of craziness, ups and downs, tariffs, and everything else. This week, Ron's going to really share with us a little bit of some research he's been doing. Some of it's a little left over from the show last week, our 100th episode. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. But on today, Ron is going to share with us a little bit of something he found out about some changes in TSA rules of things you can bring on airplanes. In addition to that, he's going to talk about investor sentiment, which is at the absolute lowest it's been. So hang on. We'll be right back with you in just a second. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Ron, how are you doing, bud?
Good morning. Spring is in the air.
Yes. Actually, it was nice this morning, surprisingly. It was a little crisp in the air out here and not very much rain, so we don't have much in the way of humidity for a change.
Mother Nature is teasing us out here where it was hot in early March. Then it was almost winter conditions in the mornings for a little bit. Then it teased us with some summer last week. Now we're back to spring-oriented weather.
Normal spring, yeah.
All good. It's all good.
Yeah, whatever it is, a little cool in the morning, that works good. When you're getting out of
And of course, with our current administration, there's never any daily fodder for us to talk about.
I know. I wish they would do something. It just seems like they're just sitting on their hands, but we'll go with it from there.
He's got his own reality TV channel, which is the media. So that we got it all there, but no, definitely have some good stuff.
Absolutely. All right. Why don't you kick us off with a little bit of trivia today, and we'll go from there.
All right. You should be able to get the first one. What is the name of the boat in Jaws?
Oh, that one's an easy one. The Orca.
Of course. Here we go. All right. Now, what country covers 5 time zones but only operates in one? For me, when I did this, I thought of only 2 countries. I got it wrong.
I'm thinking Russia.
Okay, I was thinking Australia, but it is China. So
really?
If you're on the eastern or the western edge, either it's daylight for you a lot or it's very dark, depending on how you decide.
That is amazing.
If you're keeping up with the time zone. Where's Beijing? Is that in the center
Beijing
or
is
east?
way on the eastern side.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
it's not quite to the ocean, but it's way on the eastern side of it.
That means if you're on the western half of that country, basically, if you need any government services or whatever,
you're screwed.
Doing it at 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yeah, pretty much. That's amazing. 5 friggin' time zones. Wow.
If you ordered an omelet Arnold Bennett, what fish would you find in it?
Wow.
I had no. I'm a big breakfast guy.
I've never even heard of an omelet Arnold Bennett. I'm going catfish. I don't even know where to go with this.
Haddock. And isn't haddock pretty disgusting?
It's oily from what I remember about it. I'm not a fish guy.
Oh, really? I love fish.
Ugh.
All right. So I thought the next thing was interesting. I ran across an article 2 days ago, and whenever you get a good little snidbit, I think it would be interesting. Now, obviously, going back after 9/11, they put a clamp on a lot of stuff on what you can and can't bring in and whatever. Some of the things seem pretty obvious, but a couple of these things I was like, number one, I didn't know they were banned. And number two, I didn't know people were bringing this stuff on a plane.
Yeah.
So number one, some over-the-counter medications. I didn't know that they were banned because don't people bring on like a Tylenol or an Advil if they got a headache?
Yeah, I would have thought so. And you put it in that little baggy thing, the clear baggy, and then just bring it through TSA. I didn't know you.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's if it's in the silver punch-out stuff. I don't know.
Maybe
I know I brought stuff on Pepto or I don't know, just took anything.
Yeah, my wife takes 17 allergy medications and she'd be stopped every time. And I'm the one that always gets stopped. That's the funny part.
All right, number 2, prescription medications in gel, liquid, or aerosol form. Now, I don't know. I don't have any liquid prescription meds. I do have some gel stuff for my knees or whatever, just for icy hot and whatever. But I didn't know that you couldn't bring this stuff in. But it says
again, I thought this could all be
prescription med.
Yeah, first thought I thought it was they could go in those little, but it's got to be small things, and it has to go in the little
The
clear bag.
aerosol form I can understand,
I get that.
but if you have something prescription in liquid, if it's under 3.5 ounces, why can't you bring that in?
It shouldn't matter. Yeah.
Yep. Next one. Ice packs or gel packs for medically necessary items. Okay.
I get it. Yeah.
Yep. Next one. Food and drink for infant and toddler. Now, I'm thinking to myself, all right, food. You were never able to bring on Goldfish for the toddlers. This makes no sense at all that this was banned before. Now, drink, I don't know. You could always
Juice
bring
box
water
or something like that. Yeah. I could argue that point, but the food, it's like, why should that really matter? So
now you got to help me out with this. What the hell is a wet battery?
that's I guess technically a wet battery is, I would think it's like almost like a car battery. So why would you be carrying that on a
car
plane?
Battery, a wet battery?
Yeah. Yeah, because they're inside of them. Some of them are still wet where they have acid in them.
I didn't know. I'll have to look that up maybe during the show.
Yeah, I don't know what else would be a wet battery, but
now I'm thinking to myself, who the hell is doing this anyway? Live fish transported in water. Yeah, I'm sorry. We had to have committee meetings on this one.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what the heck is...
But now they're going to allow it. That's the funny part. So people are going to be walking on with goldfish.
Yeah, little kids going to come on with a little bowl with a goldfish. Yeah, Sammy's going to make the flight.
Do you have to pay extra for your goldfish coming on? That's what I want to know.
I don't think he wants to watch the movie.
I mean, I could see the argument. It could be an emotional support fish.
Don't even go there. Don't even go there. All right, next one. I'm sorry. Biological specimens. Now, I want to know before this, was there an itemization of the specimens?
I'm just like, okay, can we give you a little bit? Yes, here's a petri dish of, so here's the funny part. So my best man in my wedding, we were fraternity brothers and all this. I was in his wedding. He was a microbiologist and worked for a food test lab when we were in college. And every time I'd go over to his office or his house and I'd go and open up the refrigerator, he's like, hey, just stay away from that stuff on the top. That's New World typhus. And I'm like, what the hell do you have this in your refrigerator for?
Yeah, and obviously you can't transport. You weren't able to but now you can.
But now you can bring your emotional support New World typhus on the plane with you now.
Yeah, but you could be releasing Ebola on the plane. What the hell's going on with this? All right, next.
Wow. Yeah.
Next. Breast milk or baby formula.
Okay, I kind of understand.
Able to do this before.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, ma'am. You're going to have to leave your breast outside the plane.
Just like, okay, you can't. Yeah. It can't be. It can be from the original source, just cannot be.
Sorry, during this 5-hour flight, you cannot feed your toddler.
Not at all. They're on their way. They're on their own. Yeah. Another one I don't get. And I've seen women with the baby formula and stuff like that. How could you not done this? So basically, they just had all these idiotic rules that they never followed, is what I'm seeing.
I guess so. But like I said, were we just completely ignorant? Or remember the whole time, the whole thing that somebody had a plastic explosive that was built into the heel of the shoe.
Yes, the shoe bomber or the underwear bomber and all this crap.
But so anyway, a wet battery is a type of lead acid battery that uses a liquid electrolyte, typically a mixture of sulfuric acid and water to generate power.
So basically a car battery.
Are these TSA people truly trained on how to identify a wet battery versus a dry battery?
Hey,
I couldn't tell the funny part. I don't even know what the hell this is.
Yeah, our testing center here that we
Excuse me, last thing. Who the hell's bringing us on a plane instead of
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to bring my car battery onto the plane with me just in case I need it. But yeah, I mean that because I don't think those are really small size ones. I built a wet cell battery for a science exhibit where I used a lemon to create a battery, but I don't get it.
No, neither do I. Next, I had to look this one up. Liquid filled teethers. So this is a gel or a liquid for toddlers that are teething, put on their gums to cool them off.
Okay.
Now, why would that have been banned?
Yeah. Once again, I think it was all that time period.
And I'm sorry, let your baby cry for the flight.
Let them scream next to me the whole time. You know what? I will sneak that onto the plane to ensure that your toddler that is sitting next to me, that You didn't pay for a seat, so now they're screaming on your lap. I will definitely bring that on for
We could have done a whole episode going through each of these. Next one,
you.
duty-free items sealed in a
Tamper
tamper-evident
evident.
bag.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I don't know why you couldn't do this before, but all right.
I'm still trying to figure out what the sealed in a tamper evident bag means. That makes
I don't know. Maybe they got a
that.
chain of custody issue through duty-free.
But most of the duty free shops I've ever been to, you just buy it and you carry it onto the plane with you in a plastic bag. So I don't get
Don't
it.
forget Kramer from Seinfeld. We're gonna stop at the duty-free shop.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Next, fresh
Wow.
eggs. Now,
Damn
I
it.
didn't know this was banned either. You could bring on but a hard-boiled egg, you can't. Or you
Is
can.
that considered fresh or just regular
And
fresh
what the
eggs?
hell are you doing transporting fresh eggs on a plane?
Hey, in today's world, dude, this is like currency, man. What are you talking about?
Today it is, but for 25 years, 24 years,
We've
sorry,
not been able to do it.
sorry.
Yeah.
I know you just got those fresh eggs this morning, but
thank God there are finally rational people running these organizations and they're looking at some of these idiotic rules that were put in place. I'm wondering when you can actually get water, you can bring water on again, because it's
no, you
hilarious. I
can't bring
watch
water on. You just can't bring it through security. You got to buy the water on the other side. That's all.
Oh, I know. Yeah, which makes no sense to me because I'm like, it's still water. I mean, it's, yeah. Oh, you're going to blow the plane up with water. Okay, it's not going to be a really big explosion. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, or I'm telling you, the breast milk and baby formula just.
I'm still trying to figure that one out. It's okay. You're on a 9-hour flight to Europe. You're not going to get to feed your baby during that time. And you won't be able to put a teether in its mouth because it's starving, because we don't want that either.
No, but I got to come back to this. Live fish transported in water. What was the incident they said? I'm sorry. John Candy. Sorry, folks. Parks closed. Yeah. Cannot bring in the live fish transported in water. All right, let's move on to some good
Listen to the
here.
moose, folks. Listen to the moose.
The moose should have told you at the front. All right. So, Bloomberg article, investors haven't been this bearish in 30 years, Bank of America
that tells me it is time to buy, baby.
Yeah. So, yeah, that could be a 100% contrarian factor, but also I don't think all the bad news is baked in because we have no settlement on anything.
No.
Nothing.
Nope.
Japan, they say they're talking to Japan. That was one of the 5 entities I spoke about last week. I think this could get worse before it gets better. And I'm not trying to just sound like Mr. Raincloud, but you got to give me a break here. You got to give me a reason why we're at a bottom, we've hit bottom, or you know what? In the short term, next 3 to 6 months, there's a catalyst to move upward. I don't see it. What about you?
Oh, no, I agree. And I was talking to a client about that last night. I said, our portfolios are largely in treasuries right now, which I looked like an idiot a week or so ago, but it's now stable. But yeah, you get head faked out by this market every time. Every time it starts to look like, okay, it's doing a little bit better. Then you have the idiot Fed chairman yapping on there. It's okay, coming to you from the folks that brought you transient inflation. Now you're going to tell us, oh, this is going to be horrible and all that. Why should I believe you? You suck.
Well, the only thing look, everything he said was true, specifically about tariffs could cause temporary inflation.
And now, they couldn't.
What does temporary mean? 3 to 6 months, 3 to 6 years. Nobody, the whole thing is there's always this is what kills me. There's always uncertainty. We just have elevated uncertainty.
Absolutely.
Because until we at least have a compass heading on some of these things, it's almost add to quality positions, don't get crazy, but don't sell everything either.
That's precisely correct. And have some powder dry, because there is going to be an opportunity to buy. I don't think it's today. I probably don't think it's tomorrow. Definitely won't be tomorrow because the markets aren't open. But I would say in the next month, until we have, it sounds like they're going to circle back with Japan by the end of the month. So that's probably going to be one of the first coming through. The Italian prime minister is in, or Italian president is in, and she's really actually coming out as being like one of the most rational people I've seen in Europe. And I think the EU is pushing, hey, let's just do 0 for 0. So until we get a few of those
They can't
kind of
do that.
skins on the wall, why wouldn't they?
No, because when you're looking for balance, going 0 for 0 doesn't make sense, because what happens if somebody ships more of a product and somebody ships less of a
Yeah,
product? You're hurting each other's economies by doing that. If you're doing a 0 for 0 tariff, somebody could still overwhelm with specific products and industries. And the whole thing is this: I don't care if the Italian president is in, the whole EU has to agree.
absolutely. Once again, it's a whole on the whole across the board. There's a lot of negotiations that have to happen. And this is an absolutely headline driven market. Whatever the headlines say, the computers are going to go freaking crazy and go one direction or another. So I'm happy at this point, and I think most of my clients will agree. We're happy that we're just sitting on the sidelines a little bit, collecting coupons for the time being and collecting dividends.
Yeah.
We're ramped up on dividend side.
So we are in earnings
Yay!
season, and it's been mixed.
Yeah.
United Health absolutely got
Oh, it stunk it up to yeah.
whacked
And
today.
I still don't understand that. It was an interesting thing. I listened to a bit of the conference call, and they're talking about that they had more costs for Medicare Advantage, and I'm like, I don't get where you had more cost. What caused they never explained what caused these more costs. So that tells me you have no freaking clue what's going on with your business at this point. So
Yeah, I'm going to have to get this confirmed. I'm going to give a personal note here. So I had a checkup a couple of weeks ago, and they said they wanted me to get a scan. That's fine. I called in. I'm going through the whole process. And I said, just out of curiosity, what does this cost? After I gave them the thing, I have to get this confirmed when I show up because they want me to. It would cost less if I paid out of pocket than if I went through insurance. I'm like, how is that possible? This whole insurance thing has been
it's a
so
scam. It's a
crazy.
ginormous scam. It's funny. A few years ago, we shifted to a different type of health plan. And I ask that question every time now. It's what's it going to cost me if I go through my insurance, or what's it going to cost me if I just pay you cash? And sometimes it's actually less than my copay to do it that way. So I'm like, I just asked now because I'm like, I'd rather not
Well,
have
the
it out
problem
of
is you
pocket.
can't get past the deductible unless you pay in.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's just insane.
All right. So anyway, getting back to earnings. So I
Mm,
thought this was interesting. We haven't been this low if you think about it. All the elevated uncertainty around COVID.
sure.
Then we hit the low in October, November of 2022. And that was when we hit bottom, but that was when people got the most fearful. So you're
Yeah.
right. This could be a contrarian factor. But I think the other thing, remember COVID, we hit low March 23rd of
Mm,
that year of 2020. And we still didn't know what was ahead of us for quite
nope.
some time. And in November 22, people were saying, "Oh, we're definitely going to have a recession," which didn't happen because of how much money was being pumped into the economy.
Yep.
So that kind of we skipped a recession based on all those factors. And now we're here, and I don't know if necessarily this is the same situation as November 22 and March of 2020 because of the tariff situation. What are your thoughts?
I think it's the uncertainty on tariffs. I think it's also, I would say, some uncertainty on the tax situation. What's the whole tax thing going to look like? Because if they do nothing, it's a dead man switch, and it blasts
I
up.
think the
And they're going to
taxes
do
will be
something.
resolved. I don't know if the
But
tariffs will.
the longer they drag this out, which it sounds like they're working hard, but the longer they drag that out, it makes it harder and harder for business owners that are going to make big investments this year in their businesses. And especially these companies that they're trying to, okay, you can expense factories and everything else. Okay, if you keep dragging the shit out for another 6 months, the typical the typical Washington, oh, our deadline is September 20th, September 19th at 12, or 11:59, we'll come up with this. It's just,
Yeah.
it makes it very difficult.
That's
I mean,
because
a win.
they all gotta do their earmarks.
Oh, I
Hey,
know.
you got my vote if you do this for me.
Yeah,
So a couple more quick slides. Household spending going in the wrong direction. But it's been going in the wrong direction for a while,
for
and
quite a
job
while.
openings have been going down, but unemployment hasn't been ticking up.
No, and that's, in fact, that was one of the things. We'll cover that on the next show. But yeah, unemployment actually is down. It was radically down from where people thought it was going to be. So it's interesting because you've got a lot of layoffs in the federal government, but it's just not a lot of ongoing jobs. It's been steady.
No, and then the last thing I got is about household spending, where credit card spending has been doing. Can you explain the difference between you got travel and then you got transit? But I don't know how gas spending is down. Does this is because gas prices have been coming down, but does that mean that people are getting less gas?
You got to think more people are working from home than ever had been prior to that. It looks like it'd been on a down decline for quite a while. I'd venture to say now, I would venture to say, and this is only through 2022 at that point. So this makes sense. If you're looking at 20, 21, and 22, one, gas prices were way the heck down at that point, especially in 2020 and 21. It was like $1 and some odd cents per gallon, base price. And then, of course, California adds $4 on for taxes and everything else. But base price, now it's up around 3. So I'd be interested to see what 23 and 24 look like.
I'd like to find out what the hell happened this week that all of a sudden everybody wanted to go out and buy furniture.
Yeah. Yeah. 2017. I'm just trying to think back. Yeah. That's February. Okay. So this is February. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry about it. I meant to tell you.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was February of each.
No,
yeah. I don't get that. I guess the only thing I can think of is the beginning talks about tariffs and stuff like that. So everybody's going to go buy furniture. I don't know.
No, but the one thing that we have seen is just more people buying stuff online. And I don't think this trend is going to stop.
No, I would expect that trend to keep accelerating, quite frankly.
But this is showing that people are spending less at bars and restaurants.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't go out as often. I almost look at it as a treat now.
Yep.
I'm embarrassed to say I was hankering for a steak. I haven't had one in a long time. Went out and I could not believe the prices of how much a steak was.
No. And what amazes me is all these steakhouses and all that, it's through the roof cost. Yet I go to Longhorn Steakhouse and I can walk out of there, 2 of us a meal for under $30. What are they doing different from all these other
wait, you're getting a steak? 2 of you are getting a steak?
No, we get something else, but still, if I bought a steak, if each of us got a steak, we'd be out for under $45.
At Longhorn?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's awesome. Their prices are fantastic and the food is outstanding.
For that price, I got to quote Rodney Dangerfield. Did the meat still have the marks?
No, there was no jockey marks on the dang food, dude. It was actually really good. Like I said, we went for lunch, I think last Friday when we got off of work, and I had a burger and Crystal, I think, had a chicken sandwich, and it was $31 with a 20% tip because our waiter was phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm amazed. And
she had water, I had a Texas. That's all I can say.
But I was up in Idaho and it was the same price. Prices are consistent. So I went to it in Idaho. And it's become my place now where I'm like, if I travel, that's where I'm going to go because I know the food's going to be good and it'll be consistent and I don't have to figure it out.
Maybe I got to check it out. But hey,
all right,
that's what I got for this week. I know you got some stuff coming up.
Yep, we'll do that on the next show. So folks, make sure you keep an eye out for the next show. We're going to do 2 this week, and I'll be covering some stuff around the economics of the world. We'll talk about the bond market, and we'll talk a little bit about some green shoots around the world that we can talk about. So we'll see you guys back in the next show.